Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. I did a video a few days ago where I pointed out that police were allowing male police officers to then immediately, upon declaring that they were now female and wished to be known as female police officers, and were given the right to strip search women. And I said that that was wrong, and I warned women. And I said in that article that the police are not your friends. I cannot believe what I'm about to read to you. The article I have in front of me is appalling. Questions need to be asked. And ladies, particularly ladies, the police are not your friends. I'm going to go straight into this article, but I'm astounded. I am utterly astounded by what I'm about to go through with you. So I'll put myself in the corner and we'll have a look at this. And honestly, if you're not angry at the end of this, it's unbelievable. Here's the article. Just take a look at that headline. Police let off 870 sex offenders, including 5 child rapists, without punishment or a criminal record because they said sorry. I'm sorry, how is this even legal? How is this even possible? Who is making the decisions like this, and why have they still got a job? But we'll go in. Hundreds of sex offenders are avoiding criminal records by saying sorry. Police units across the UK have allowed rapists, flashers and more to escape justice. Under a community resolution order, sex pests can admit guilt and apologise. Survivors and campaigners have blasted the controversial law as a disgrace. It is utterly disgraceful. Everyone who passes this into law needs to be held to account, questioned. They are effectively decriminalising rape. They are decriminalising child abuse. Find out if your MP voted for this. Find out if your chief of police endorses it. Question them. Hold them to account. This is appalling. But we'll go into the article. I can't believe I'm reading it. Hundreds of sex offenders have managed to avoid criminal records by saying sorry for their depraved acts, it was revealed today. Around 870 cases, which include 5 instances of child rape, have been dealt with via community resolution across Britain in the previous 2 years. That's more than a rape a day, and simply going, oh, I'm sorry, and you're off the hook. Unbelievable. Under the controversial measure, sex pests admit their guilt and apologise, but are never given a permanent criminal record. How? What is going on in this country that this is allowed, that this is possible? The victims of their wicked acts are asked for their opinion on the punishment. Those victims could still be traumatised and could be in a position where they go, I don't want to be reminded of it, I don't want to deal with it, I don't want anything. Why are you now pushing pressure onto the victims instead of just taking these people and putting them in a jail cell for the rest of their lives? But we'll read that again. The victims of their wicked acts are asked for their opinion on the punishment, but official guidance warns that their views will not be definitive. In other words, when you've finished, putting this pressure onto a victim, and you finally got a victim to say something, their view is then ignored. So you're punishing the victim twice. You're making that victim relive the moment, and then ignoring what they say anyway. Normally reserved for the lowest level crimes such as shoplifting, community resolution orders allow criminals who show genuine remorse to escape the full force of the law. So if you're a good actor, you can get away with murder. Oh, I'm genuinely sorry. I raped you 3 times. It's fine. Oh yeah, seems reasonable to me, sir. Off you go. Oh, come on. Come on. What world are we living in? But in some police jurisdictions, the slap on the wrist punishment is being used to settle rape, flashing and child grooming cases. And this is why the police enabled 15,000 child rapes. Women, the police are not your friend. Bring your children up to not trust the police. The police are rape enablers and are child abuse enablers. When they're not busy doing it themselves, they're helping others do it and not punishing them, letting them off. Slap on the wrist. On your way, sir. Unbelievable. South Yorkshire Police, which faced a barrage of criticism over their bungled Rotherham abuse scandal, that's where the 15,000 children were raped, has used the scheme in 78 instances where sex crimes were said to have been committed. I hope every cop that signs off on this, it's going to be a senior officer, it's going to be someone like an inspector or above, every inspector that signed this off needs to be prosecuted for rape. Or whatever the offence that they've let the criminal off on, they have to be prosecuted for it because they've enabled that. They're guilty by association. Victims, such as Rotherham child sex abuse survivor Sammy Woodhouse, 36, have shared their fury at the controversial orders. Too damn right they have. And that's Sam Woodhouse. Other police forces across Britain have been caught using the Community Resolution measure to deal with rape cases. Derbyshire, Devon and Cornwall, Durham, Cheshire and Nottinghamshire forces used to deal with cases involving rape of girls aged under 13. So you're talking child rape, you're raping a child, and you're saying, oh, I'm sorry, and you're being let off. That's what the police are doing. The police are enabling child rape. The police are as guilty of child rape as the perpetrator. The head of those forces needs to be fired. Every officer involved in those cases needs to be fired. And the moment they're fired, they need to be up in front of a court and charged with that crime. And let them do 13 years in prison. Because for a policeman, 13 years in prison is not going to be a good time. And you need the police to know that if they sign off on this shit, they're going to jail for a long, long time. Every single one of them. Every single person involved in making that decision does the time for the crime. Similarly, Merseyside officers saw a community resolution order as appropriate after a girl under 16 was raped. Police in Norfolk reacted similarly when a young boy was raped. Since 2020, 7 cases involving rape, 5 of which involved children, were resolved using a community resolution order per Home Office data. Priti Patel knows about it then. The Home Secretary of this country knows about this. She needs to resign and then she needs to be prosecuted for child rape. 414 sexual assaults, the vast majority, 349, committed on girls and women. 23 cases of grooming and 166 of exposure were resolved this way too. Dr. Alison Hadari of the National Police Chiefs Council said, community resolutions and other out-of-court disposals are used about 1% of sexual cases. This may be typically applied where school children share inappropriate images or the cases of sex between underage children. That may be the case, but we're talking about child rape here. And I don't care what these lefty, liberal, woke wankers think. The perpetrators need to go to prison for life. And any cop, any police officer who signs off on this shit needs to go to prison. It's unbelievable. We have made it clear out-of-court disposals are not to be used in serious cases. Oh, so now they're saying that child rape apparently is not a serious case. This is the left and their push to make paedophilia normal. That's why they keep adding letters. LGBT. Add 5 more letters. And one day P will be in there and nobody will be batting an eyelid. Campaigners and MPs have reacted with fury at the news. Everybody should be reacting with fury. Shadow Home Secretary, why balls? Yvette Cooper, a woman who won't take her husband's name, said it's an absolute disgrace that under this government horrific crimes are going on without punishment. It was her government that brought in that order. Fiona McKenzie of Women's Safety Campaign Group We Can't Consent to This said there is no justice for victims and no protection for the public in letting offenders off if they say sorry. And as this is predominantly a female victimed crime, it is effectively the police force saying women are valueless, worthless, and are not worthy of investigating the crimes committed against women. The police are misogynistic, and ladies, I've said it before, they're not your friends. So-called minor sexual offences can be a path for offenders who go on to commit more and more serious crimes. Indeed, it can. And the policy has been blasted by Rotherham sex abuse survivor Sammy Woodhouse, who was abused by Arshad Hussain when she was a teenager. She said, I'm furious, it's just insane. Why on earth would you allow a sex offender to say sorry and not be criminalised? I think it's fine to use this scheme for something like shoplifting, but I'm struggling to find words on how I feel about it being used for rapists. What kind of message is this to be sending out? It's suggesting to sex offenders there'll be no consequences for their actions, and she is damn right. And there's no consequences for the police officers who allow this to happen. Those officers need to be fired and prosecuted. Anyway, I'm so angry about it, I'm going to come up and round this video off. At the beginning of this video, I said you wouldn't believe it. I've finished the video, and I still don't believe it. I cannot believe, in this day and age, there is a law in this country that basically says you can commit virtually any crime you like, and as long as you say sorry, you'll be let off. What the hell is going on? And why is our Home Secretary still in a job? Now, this article was buried on like page 8 of the Mail. This wasn't headlines. Oh no, there was some crap about the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Oh look, they've come from America to do the Invictus Games. It's plastered all over at the top. What? Two worthless wastrels take headlines and something like this is buried. It's appalling. This needs to be front page, centre splash on every publication. I ask you all, if you're watching this, share this video. Put it on every Facebook you've got. Put it on every message board you've got. Share it, share it, share it. Share the hell out of this. And let's get some action on this. I'm not asking for the law to be repealed, because I do understand that in some cases it could be appropriate for very low-level stuff or stuff involving very young people. But certainly remove it as an option for anything that involves sexual offence or physical harm. But the fact that these police officers, who have been inundated over the years with all the problems that they have brought upon themselves, with the rapes, the murders, all the various things that's happened by and committed by police officers, all done with the connivance of the police, you'd think they'd be a bit more aware, shall we say, that this is going to be controversial. And whoever signed off on this, this needs investigating, and you want to find out the name of every person involved, and they need to be fired and they need to be prosecuted. It's an appalling abuse of power. It's an appalling treatment of women particularly, and children particularly. And words are failing me as to describe how bad this is. I'm normally quite erudite, but even I am struggling to put together a coherent sentence with the anger that's burning in me over this issue. So I think it's best I stop now and I'll end the video. But you, please, question everything, question everyone, and never trust a policeman. If you like what I say and do on this channel, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Ring the bell for notifications of future output. Leave a like, leave a comment, and in this case, please share this video. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, and goodbye.